Welcome back to a new series of Strategic Command, World War II, World at War. And I've done a series where I played the Axis and won a complete victory. And now I'm going to do another series where I play as the Allies. And the only difference is there's other YouTubers that play the Allies in 1939. And there's so many things you can do differently and make it a lot easier to win as the Allies. So I'm going to play the 1942. Let's take a look at that. I'm going to play 1942 Axis High Tide because I looked at it and it's a lot more challenging to play the Allies. But because of the research levels, they're not up to par with the Axis, and the Axis have a tremendous military advantage in the beginning. But with the United States in the war, the Allies are catching up. And it's still going to be a win, but I'm going to make it a little more challenging in the following manner. I'm going to be playing the Allies, and to make the game a little more realistic, I'm going to only be playing the British and the Americans. I'm not going to be playing the Soviets and the Chinese because that would be a lot easier. I know how to build impregnable walls where the AI cannot get through, and my style of fighting is not really the Soviet and the Chinese style. There was more a war of attrition and just using manpower needlessly, and I wanted to reflect here. And if Germany and Japan have a big advantage in the beginning, and somehow it's going to force me as Britain and the United States to create second fronts, so they have to divert units, and basically I'll be saving them, whereas if I play them, it's going to be a lot easier. And I know, like I said, I know how to build impregnable walls where the AI is never going to get through, and then I just pound it and just destroy units. But with the Soviet and Chinese doctrine of making suicide attacks and slugging it out with the enemy, it's going to be a little more interesting and challenging. And yeah, I'll play the Free French too, why not? I mean, anybody, the Western Allies and India, because India is also a part of the British Empire. I'm only not going to play the Soviets and the Chinese, and it's going to be everything the same. Fog of war, everything, and the Axis are going to begin. So it's going to start with the Battle of Midway and Case Blue in the Soviet Union, and Rommel's also going to be pounding against Egypt. That's why I like to play this, because you have the North Africa campaign too. If I played 1939 Allies in the beginning, I can guarantee you there's going to be hardly any Axis units making it to Libya. And you can watch Bubble Box, the YouTuber Bubble Box, where he's playing the Allies from 1939, and he's doing pretty well. I think he's already invading Italy, but that's more into. But I think this is going to be a little more interesting. So let's see what happens. June 4th, 1942, Battle of Midway, and let's see what damage the Axis are doing. Guess the AI has to think a lot. Oh, it has to. Uh-oh. Oh no, they're attacking Midway Island. Wow. Oh, they detected my sub. Let's see how many ships they have. Oh, there's some juicy carriers there. I'd love to sink them, but they did a lot of damage to my air units. Oh my God, that's the whole Japanese fleet. Oh, oh no. Oh, the Germans got a... Yeah, the Soviets don't have any ability in infantry weapons. The Germans have more advanced. I don't want to... This is going to be nasty. See how this develops. All right, Sevastopol's getting blasted by Big Bertha, real giant artillery pieces that the Germans used to reduce the fortress of Sevastopol. And of course, standard AI is going to be attacking towards Moscow. Boy, I got it. Yeah, I would know exactly what to do here, but I am the Western Allies. All I can do is give aid to the Soviets. Stalin is on his. I mean, Stalin makes the military decisions and his generals. And their policy was basically not an inch back either. You know, Hitler had this similar. You got two dictators with a similar policy, not to give any ground at all. Yo. And there goes Case Blue. They're going to try to hit the Caucasus, capture the oil fields. Leningrad is cut off, but there are pretty good defenses around there. And Japanese are attacking India. Yeah, losing headquarters will be devastating. Oh, I lost a unit. Woo-hoo-hoo. Oh, just barely. They're attacking Port Moresby by land. Get that Australian unit. It's down to 1. Boy, how many units do they have? Oh, there's another unit coming down on me. Oh my God. That's the entire Japanese fleet right there. And there's some transports heading for Midway. Okay. And there's not much in Britain other than a bunch of core units under training. I do have some strategic bombers, but that's going to take a while. My top priority now is, I saw that Port Moresby unit down to 1. It needs to be upgraded as quickly as possible. Hopefully it can survive. Got 2 special force units attacking it. That could demoralize Australia. So I got to hold Port Moresby. Let's see what else I have. I do have Dugout Doug. General MacArthur is in Australia. Got some Marines here. Excellent. Awesome. Got the United States Marines. They're going to be. That's Marine tanks. Marine division. Submarine. And I guess the Marines should target Guadalcanal and get that ready. But in the meantime, there's a big battle raging at Midway, and I'm heavily outnumbered. Oh boy. I got 400. This air unit's going to be completely destroyed, so I don't think it's wise to keep it there because I already lost 1 air unit, and I don't think I can move a garrison, and they probably get destroyed anyways, even with landing. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to give Midway to the Japanese, but hopefully in the process I may be able to sink a carrier or 2. But I'm heavily outnumbered here. If they come after me, I cannot afford to lose this fleet. But I'm going to have to think here. Wow. It's a lot to think about right on the first turn. I got to do things right. Now, in reality, there were Marines on Midway Island, several thousand, and it was well fortified. And if you've ever been to Midway Island, it's surrounded by shallow coral, that there's no way any landing craft can land on the beaches. You got to wade through water, and any Japanese soldiers that would have attempted to land would have had to wade, and they would have been slaughtered. Even with the Japanese fleet firing and all that, I don't think that would have been. I don't think Midway could have been taken. But in this case here, I'm going to have to. I can use this maritime bomber. But there is a carrier right here. I did do a little damage. Yeah, it's a bunch of destroyers. Do my hit and run tactics. There's another cruiser here. Oh, sunk a carrier. There's 1 down. It's probably about 3 or 4 more here, but let's back off. Now, destroyers. Okay, I'm not going to risk my carriers. You know, get them in and try to sink their carriers because then their ships will come. But I can try to pick off. See if I can pick off some straggling units. I know they're going to have combat air support. But if I can damage. Okay, I do have a fighter here. I got another carrier over this way. If I put him in this direction. Good. All right, let's. All right, sunk a destroyer and a carrier. Now, should I risk? Yeah, there's Japanese planes right there. Okay, let's retreat. The Japanese don't see us there. Let's see if I can hit that cruiser. Because they can't replenish their... well, they can, but... Sunk. Good. Let's get the hell out. I think if I can put a destroyer right here, I can cover... Yeah, that's good. I can cover the carrier in case their battleships or other things come towards me. And I can retreat the carriers. Well, I did sink one carrier and a cruiser and a destroyer. But he's got battleships right there, so I need to be very careful. Because I don't know how far they're going to approach. But they can have Midway. I'll take it back later. I may have to retreat to Hawaii. Okay, there's another destroyer. Let's there's a covering force here just in case he moves to protect my carriers. And just keep an eye on the fleet because they do heavily outnumber me, I believe. Now, let's see what I have in the United States. There's a battleship. Let's upgrade it first. Naval weapons. I want to upgrade as much as I can. Marines, infantry weapons. I don't need mobility. Marines don't need mobility. Upgrade. I got to be careful on my spending here. I got to look at that. Got a garrison. Okay, these Marine units. And who's this here? This is General Eichelberger. So, okay, I reinforced Port Moresby. I got to be real careful. I do want to stay there for now. Okay, these are... It's best just to see what happens. And I do want the Midway to be resolved. Okay, what is going on over here? Dutch Harbor. Oh, they took Attu and Kiska. All right, let's bring... I'm not concerned about Alaska, but let's reinforce. I want to see what's up here. Even get an extra ship if I can get my carriers to bomb, but I'm going to have to reinforce, and he's going to take Midway. There's no way I can stop that, really. I don't think. Even if I transport, I don't have enough to go on Midway, and I think he would kill my garrison anyways. He's probably got one or two transports. So I have to use my usual fleet strategy, hit and run and pick them off as they come along. Because that is a lot of Japanese ships and carriers. But I did sink one. I'd like to get all of them, but that's going to be unlikely. Depending how poorly the AI plays. And okay, that's Axis, so Mahajanga. So it looks like the South Africans are attacking a Vichy principality. I guess what happened is in 1942, after Pearl Harbor, the Japanese went on a string of victories, capturing the Philippines, Dutch East Indies, Singapore, pushed all the way up to the Indian border, and they attempted to invade Port Moresby by sea, but the Battle of the Coral Sea stopped them from doing that. But well, that was later, but before that, a couple months, they bombed the entire Japanese carrier force, the same that one that bombed Midway, completely crippled the British fleet in Colombo and Ceylon here. And it was feared that the Japanese may try to capture Madagascar and use it as a base, so the British and South Africans felt necessary that they have to secure it, so I guess, yeah, time to secure Madagascar. Mahajanga. So that's why they feared that the Japanese may try to base units on Madagascar. You know, and the Vichy were collaborators, so couldn't be trusted. And now what do... I got Rommel attacking me. I think the first thing to do here is... fortify these units, and I do have artillery. Don't have much. I do need to see this one. Upgrade infantry weapons. Okay, these have mobility too, but I need to reinforce all these fighters. This is very important in bombers. Okay, I want this to be a naval tactical. I'm already running out of money. 9. Glad that's why Port Moresby was the most important thing to reinforce. Okay, I got these units. Boy, my engineer unit is gone. I move this one down here, and I'm going to have to bring some more units into. See what I have in Britain. A tactical bomber that has to go to Africa. This unit here will need to be upgraded and also sent to Africa. Ooh, I don't have any money left. Now this is the French. Spend those French dollars. Spend some French. Okay, I can use the free French, and to combine the fleet is probably the best thing to do. I like to keep things combined. I don't know if any Axis bombers can start bombing here, but I'd rather keep them. I don't know if the Italians have the human torpedoes. So I'm going to put them out to sea. If the Italian fleet decides to come, then I can ambush it, but I don't know if they're going to be brave enough to come out of their hole. But I'm going to have to move. Okay, this is an Indian Corps. Bring this one over here. Bring this one to Tripoli or Damascus. I'm just thinking. And all I have to do is build up, do research, and just fight on Africa. And as the United States, on the west coast, on the east coast, I mean, duh. Okay, this is mobility. I don't need mobility right now. What I do need to do is, as the United States, how many? 1, 2, 3, 4. I got 4. And I got General Bradley. I got 4 infantry units in General Bradley. Okay, there's a Canadian unit here that can go to UK. Okay, I got 4 armies. Oh, I got 5 armies ready to go with General Bradley. So I think it's very important to start putting them on long-range amphibious transports and take out Algeria and Tunisia due to torch landings as soon as possible. That will give air bases at least, and then I can assist in clearing out Libya. Because the one thing is the Germans and the Italians doubtful that they're going to get any reinforcements. And I'm going to try to prevent that by sending some battleships. There's a cruiser in the Falklands, no need for it to be there. These are just garrisons, I just want to check everything. Battleships. Alright, let's keep these units. Okay, is this India? No, this is Britain. Yeah, these are British. Okay, India has a economy of its own. And the goal of India is going to be to fight the Japanese. Build up units, fight the Japanese, push them down towards Rangoon. This is what I plan. Bangkok, Singapore, Vietnam, and then assist the Chinese and maybe come in on a flank here to do the best. And by capturing these, hopefully divert some units and relieve some pressure from China. But first, I do want to do some upgrades, special forces, do some infantry weapon upgrade. It's already going to cost a lot. Let's do some upgrading before, because they have the same. Alright, first, reinforce the one at Imphal. They don't, okay, India's out. But I can hold here and then just push the armor unit, the special forces, and these, and hopefully build some more units. And I'm going to keep this British fleet here assisting and also preventing from any amphibious invasions that the Japanese may try on the Indian if they do. So I've done everything for India. I don't know what China's going to do. Well, there were some vicious battles in Burma during World War II. Okay, Japanese have regular infantry weapons. That's why I'm going to try to upgrade my Indian forces. So I've pretty much done everything for Britain, for France, for the Indians. And like I said, the United States needs to get ready for Torch. And I'm glad that there are units there already, so let's send this fleet. Stop any U-boats along the way. Let's get these units on board. to get as many. Okay. This one's got to go to Norfolk. There we go again. United States has spent, but I got to get the torch landings going. That's going to be very important. And after that, we can operate some air units over there. This is strategic bombers. I'm not that... Well, I'm going to use them. I think they're going to be useful. Any U-boat sightings? Not yet. Okay, they're going to need anti-submarine warfare. Down to 0, so I do want to... Okay, this destroyer is upgraded. Yeah, I want to upgrade them as best as I can. So this one's... There's only so much I can do, but I do want to upgrade destroyers so I can hunt down the U-boats. He's going to be going too. So that should be the torch force. And boy, there's not much I can do the first turn, really. I think I got India shored up. Hopefully the Japanese aren't just going to destroy all my ships. I'm going to have to reinforce this battleship to get it into the game. Also get this one into the game. There's only so much money I have. I can't do everything at once. Wow, look at this Japanese fleet. And I think I've done everything. Well, I've spent all the money. But main thing is I protected Port Moresby. Well, let's see what the Soviets and the Chinese do, and then Axis. Let's go. Let the rest work it. Yeah, typical Russian. I mean, I would have retreated from that area there, backed off all the way to Stalingrad and regrouped, but what are they doing? The Japanese are not attacking them. What are they doing? What's Stalin? Oh my God. Ooh. And the Chinese are going to charge right into the Japanese. Well, the reason like I said, the Soviets have a different doctrine, and that's why I'm going to let them play AI. And the Chinese, under Chiang Kai-shek, they received American and Western aid, but there were so many corrupt generals that they really didn't coordinate attacks well. They actually could have done a lot better, but the reason they didn't do that well is because of the corruption in the Chinese army. And that's why I'm trying to kind of simulate that here. And plus, I want to see if I can beat the Soviets to Berlin. If the AI plays the Soviets very well. But I will do my best to help and put as much pressure on Nazi Germany and Japan. Well, they're in an offensive mode, so maybe that's good or bad. I don't know. We'll see. Stalin's not one of... Oh. may just tear the Germans apart. Who knows? And the Chinese are on the offensive too. They just... Well, there's one unit gone. I think that's just far out too aggressive. That could bite them. Greek partisans. Oh, well, maybe I can take Madagascar. 470, USA 581, because I'm giving so much money to the Soviets in the UK. 673, that's pretty good. China, yeah. India, well, it's like a client state, so. Now, it's the Axis. Let's see what the Axis do. This aggressive Soviet move, if it's good or bad. I'm just worried about Midway. That's the main thing. I hope I don't lose any ships there. Yeah, it's more Japanese units. Oh, it's bombing Midway. Good. Uh-oh, German U-boat. Italian, okay. I do have air units to sink them. Yeah. Luftwaffe, there you go. Boy, they want the Siwa Oasis badly. Must be the Oracle at Ammon or something. That's what they're looking for. Ooh. And the supplies are very bad, so I don't think Port Moresby's going to fall. Ouch. Big Bertha is just firing those giant guns. Oh, that's awful. See, I would not have lost that army unit. I would have pulled all the way back to Stalingrad, formed a line, and just waited for the Germans to come in and then trap them, not just stay there and just slug it out. But I guess that's Stalin's orders, where they're getting hammered. Headquarters is right there. If they can take Fuchao. No! Well, they're obsessed with Siwa Oasis. There goes another Soviet unit, and they're approaching Moscow. Veliki Luki. That was a pocket. There was a lot of battles there too. You're not going to take Moresby. Hope not, at least. The Soviets lose their army units. That's going to be really bad. All right, Midway has fallen. Ouch. See, now I don't know exactly what there is. The only thing I have is my submarine. I wish I had more to scout. Two special forces, Japanese Marines. They're really going to try to take Port Moresby. Oh no! Siwa under siege. It looks like the Soviets took a real hammering here and opened Rostov. I need a victory. Well, my fleet didn't get destroyed, so I don't know what the Japanese are doing. So I'm only going to do now, wow. Let me go back and maybe if I have better supply, then I can jump and take it, because I don't think I'm getting adequate supply here. So I'm just going to go back, stay here, and then just come forward and maybe I can hit them completely. Okay, so Midway has fallen. The Soviets are in a retreat. The Siwa Oasis is under siege. I'm going to reinforce it. Now I'm going to have to think about how to approach this here. I have to be really careful. If I have an opportunity to unleash against that Rommel's Panzer unit, and then also just encountered the fleet, so. All right, I think it's a good time to say goodbye to this episode, and a lot of thinking I have to do. So this is the start of a new series. Once again, thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this.